What's up, everybody? I don't know if anybody will come in. This is just kind of just thought I would go live for a little while. I'm out in the shop doing some piddling around and just figured I would hang out with a few people. I won't be here very long. I've got a whole lot going on. Got a large crew going mobile Monday afternoon, so got a lot to do before then. And I got as much done as I could at the time for right now done as far as the paperwork and logistics go. I'm waiting on some information to come in, so I was going to use this time to come out here and kind of clean up in the shop a little bit and piddle around on a project. There's a current cutting board that I've been working on. It's going to be a live edge. There's some of my live edge stuff. Need to work on it a little bit. I've got another big cutting board that needs to be worked on, but I was in the process of working on these, and I'm talking the shop was in a total wreck, which it still is. When I got a call a few weeks ago about going over to Mississippi and helping another contractor out, getting him called up, and let's just say since then it has been total chaos. I've been running rampant. There's been a few 20-hour work days and several sleepless nights, let's just say. A lot of moving parts, a lot of things moving very fast, very quickly, some delays, and then a hurry up and wait type situation, and just normal day-to-day stuff. So it's been a wild roller coaster the past 2 weeks, but that's life. That's part of it. And the survival of the fittest is you're either able to do it or you're not. And that's what separates the men from the boys. So I called a few hours, so I was going to work, getting the shop put back in order. What's up, guys? And so while I've got a few hours, I was going to kind of get the sawdust cleaned up and get things reorganized that have been just kind of laying in here because there has been nobody here. I left it in such a mess, in such a hurry that every time I walk in, it's just, I'm like, daggone, it's normally not this messy. But anyway, so how are you guys doing? Y'all doing good? Yeah, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good, Judge. Where are you guys from? Hello, Daniel. I'm glad all you guys are here. I've done some work out there, Judge. There's a chicken processing plant there. I went out there and did a good bit of work out there. We put new cage dumps in on that plant. That's, I want to say, almost 18 hours away from us here in Alabama. Something like that. I'm going to sit y'all down for a second. I'm going to clean up a little bit. I'm not very good at this whole live thing. It's all pretty decent. I'm really new to all this YouTube stuff, so if I get distracted and don't think I'm ignoring you, I'm just trying to stay productive while I do this a little bit. So what do all you guys do for a living? Stop, redeem it. Talenzo, I'm not sure. It says, guess where I'm from. Stop redeem it. I don't get that, buddy. Stop, redeem it. Is that a joke, or am I supposed to be putting those words together to make a word? Sheriff's Department. Sweet. I was a reserve deputy for a little while for Etowah County one time. It was pretty interesting. I was on the Etowah County Rescue Squad, and we got deputized there through that. We got to do some pretty cool stuff. Sometimes it was pretty cool. Sometimes it was almost disturbing. "24-hour restoration." India. Cool. Yeah. It was sometimes the work was really cool and interesting, and sometimes, like I said, it was a little disturbing. With the rescue squad, I was an EMT. Actually, I actually got licensed paramedic shortly after this, but we, like I said, we worked some really cool incidents sometimes, and sometimes it wasn't fun at all. As you can imagine, being first responder, it's rewarding and not rewarding all at the same time. Here is the next project that I've got going out that is actually falling behind. This will be a live edge cutting board. These are going to be my live edge pieces. I'm still working on design a little bit, but this one's been sitting on the table for, I think 3 weeks now. I should have actually got it out of the clamps 2 weeks ago. But like I said, I've been so busy that I haven't been able to really mess with it any. I've got I've also got a large cutting board that is on order. It is on the table, but it is on hold until I get my main job caught up. I've got some guys I got to get situated over in Mississippi, and then after that gets done, I'll get caught up in the shop. I'm in Alabama. I live in a town just outside of Birmingham, Alabama. That's I guess you would about north central Alabama, I guess, so to say. But yeah, I've got some guys mobilizing Monday going over to Mississippi. It's about 3.5 hours away, 4 hours. They're working on the new Amazon data center over there. Yeah, Sweet Home Alabama. It's the only place I've ever lived. I've been all over the U.S., but never to live. I love Alabama. It's actually a beautiful place. We take it for granted when we live here, though, you know. Don't realize how pretty it is around here until I go to other places. Especially out west when it's really flat, like out in Texas. It was really flat, which is really cool when you first get out there and everything. But after a while, it's like you don't really see anything. Thank you. Thank you. I think it is. Of course, we can improve on some things, but what place can't? You know? So I actually, I like Texas. Like I said a minute ago, I've done a lot of work out in Texas, and I've always enjoyed going out there. I don't enjoy the drive. I've gotten to where long drives are getting to where they hurt me. I've had several injuries over the years, being young and dumb. Y'all hold your ears. Me too, Judge. Long drives kill me, man. When I was a kid, I enjoyed riding one. Yeah, crime scenes can be interesting. Yeah. Yeah, it can it definitely can take a toll. I got out of doing what I was doing like within a year of me getting my license, and because of an incident, we were working a car wreck, and that's all I'm going to say about it. But it was bad enough to where within a couple of weeks of working that accident, I was done. I couldn't do it anymore. That being said, like the respect that I have for first responders is I mean, there's no word for it. Especially your paramedics and firemen. They're definitely underpaid, and there's no amount of appreciation on the face of this planet that could meet the appreciation that they deserve. It's ridiculous at how underpaid they are. It really is. But that is not for me to decide, even though it should be, because our taxes pay for it. But it's a conversation for somewhere else. So what I'm working on now is just getting everything square and flat. So that I'm keeping the gaps a minimal in my wood. So that's pretty good there. I think I am going to go a little bit farther, whatever, on this board here. I think I'm going to do a little bit of, I think I'm going to box this in with some curly maple. I think I'm going to. So what I'll need to do, something with Curly Maple, is it reflects light. Almost like it's reflective almost. So something I try to do with it is I try, if I'm going to use end pieces, use it, I will try to match the reflectiveness. It'll see on this piece here is very reflective on this end, not so much on this end. So I want to split the difference and try to make it just as reflective on this side as it is on this side. So I need to make me a cut mark here. I'm going to cut it a little proud and then cut it 2 sides before glue up. That way everything fits perfectly. There's my cut mark. I'm gonna cut this real quick. I'll be right back. Let's see here. I'll cut this light off. I'll use this. All right, so let me move this stuff back out of the way. Man, I'm so much more unorganized right now than I normally am. Yeah, you're not wrong there, buddy. You're not wrong at all. I've always said that. I've always said that exact same thing. We actually kind of discussed that the other night on another live, actually. So what I've decided I'm going to do, instead of leaving the ends black walnut, I'm going to cap this with some Curly Maple. The bray. Oh, yeah, my braids are about to start. So I'm going to cap the ends with Curly Maple, and then they'll be trimmed down to size with these black walnuts. So, doing that, I need to get my ends very smooth. If not, I will have a lot of glue seepage. And getting wet and dry. If you've got a lot of big gaps, sometimes it'll be easier to warp these cutting boards, especially with these I'm using face grain. They're a little bit more finicky than the edge grain or end grain. But these face grains will actually, if they dry evenly, they'll cup and stuff like that. So you got to be careful how you glue your grains together on these. You don't want grains all facing one way. You need to turn them opposite ways every chance you get. I cut that one a little short. Both of these. I needed to be a little bit more proud than that, because that way I can trim it out. So got a little bit more sanding to do, which is fine. Sanding is boring. I hate it. It's the worst part of it, I think, but it's just about the most necessary. I want to mark my tops. Oop, that one there for sure. What up, Shane? My boy. Following in your footsteps here, Shane. Doing a little bit of shop time. Shane, I'm just finishing up, well, just putting a couple more pieces onto this board. I got a couple of hours in between some calls and stuff that I got going on about next week. Nice. I don't know if y'all can see that. Here's what I'm doing. When I glue that up, you can see They don't fit perfectly flat. Well, you're not going to be able to see them there. I don't know how to. So by doing this makes a better glue seam, more watertight. Mint. Well, I say that. That's it. Watch your ears, guys. Okay, y'all gonna get to see a little bit of a glue up. Here's a part of the large cutting board that I'm doing right now. It's going to be a pretty cool design. And it too has been glued up for about 2 weeks. So it is way past due to come out of these clamps. Which, I mean, it don't hurt it any, being in the clamps this long. If anything, it's gonna make it better. But 24 hours is generally all I clamp them up for. However, this is what you run into when you leave them clamped up that long. Your clamps like to be glued to your product. That is going to be a very big inlay I do on the big cutting board. It's going to have some nice grain. You can see some of it already. And then you got curly maple on both sides. This will probably be the last one that I do for a while with walnut and curly maple, because if you noticed, all of them that I've posted so far have been walnut and curly maple. It's because I had a lot of that wood, and I've been actually building these things out of scrap wood that I've had here for the past few months. And this is the last bit of it. So I'm about to go buy, I'm gonna buy some different wood this time. I'm thinking about getting some zebra wood. Zebra wood, there's some purple heart, some blood wood. I'll definitely be using more curly maple though. It's just a good, it adds a really elegant pop to these cutting boards that a lot of people seem to really like. I get more requests for curly maple than I do anything at all. They like the way that it plays with the light. I do too. I think it's a really neat, really neat. Easy to work with. And it's good for cutting boards as well. It's pretty dense, but easy to work with and soft as well, if that makes sense. Okay, so at this point right here, I need to decide which side's going to be my top. I'm looking at things like the grain, any designs that the grain makes, and this one really could be either way. Tough one. This one's got a knot that goes all the way through it that I've filled with some resin, which is, when it's finished, it's going to add a really cool design. And the reason why the top matters on this one is because it's going to be live edge. I don't do much live edge stuff, but I had some live edge wood here. So I'm just using it up. I think I'm going to go with that being the top. I would rather have too much glue than not enough. Right there is why I always mark the tops, whatever, so that during this process it's easier for me to keep up with what direction that I've laid this wood out in. That way I've got the most reflective side of that curly maple on top. The most decorative side, I guess so to say. And then we're going to do the same with this side. I should have actually done this on that glue up right there, but it wasn't until after I pulled it out of the clamps that I decided to do this. So this is going to be completely boxed out in curly maple, which is going to be really cool, I think. But I'm ready to get some new wood in here and start playing with some new colors. I think I've worn the walnut and curly maple thing out for sure. I've actually got a couple of boards that left right there on sitting on my desk that I haven't really been pushing because I like them. I'm thinking about just keeping them. I did a drop with them and I sold all the designs that were made like that, and the two that I used for pictures are still sitting here because I've had several people request them, but I haven't, for some reason, I haven't really wanted to sell them yet. For whatever reason, I'm kind of wanting to keep those. And that's another good thing about doing things the way that I'm doing them. Is when somebody requests one of these, I don't take any money whatsoever until it gets done. Because of my work schedule, for one, I don't want to feel pressure of, I don't want this to turn into a job. Let's put it that way. This is 100% a hobby. It's just something I enjoy doing. I don't necessarily set out to be the best at it. If I'm not the best at it, oh well. All right, so right here, I want to kind of get, it don't have to be just dead nuts perfect. Kind of out of screen here. When I get these tied, I'll show you. But you want it to be close. And right here is I want to make sure all the tops together. Make sure I've got the wood positioned in the right direction, because once these things are clamped down like this, that's it. That's the way that design is going to be. And there's nothing more frustrating than pulling your design out of a set of clamps and it not being right. Because at that point, there's nothing you can do about it except cut it up. I should have used my other clamps for this. Okay. I've got another set of clamps that will hold these things flat. Like the tighter I squeeze them, the flatter it'll hold it. The more pressure it puts top and bottom on it, it makes it a whole lot easier. But the thing is these smaller ones, it's just more difficult to set up. These are more primitive, I guess, so to say, is the word I'm hunting for, maybe. All right, so let me show y'all real quick what we're doing here. So you want to see a good bit of glue squeeze out. That one's kind of messed up because I was holding that down flat. But you see the glue squeeze out. That means you've got good contact area for your glue all the way around. When you've got an area that don't have the squeeze out, it is, I don't know if y'all can see that or not. But if you got an area that don't have a squeeze out, that means you don't have glue there. And in turn, there will be a hole there that you have to fill later with some kind of resin. And if not, you got a spot that will hold water. And y'all know how water and wood, what happens when they mix and just stay there, they rot from the inside out. So that's going to be it. And after all this dries, we'll pull them out. I'll get these live edges put on. Get everything dimensioned correctly, sand it, oil it, wax it. And this one will be done. This one is already sold. Well, I haven't accepted money on it yet, but the person has already claimed it. Let's put it that way. Shane, what you got going on today? Marco, my man. Yoko, I got your package shipped out today. Barely on time. I got busy this morning, almost forgot about it. It's good to see everybody in here. What you doing today, Yoko? Marco? Here is this is another one that I have going on. This one too will be a face grain. This is a glue up that I've already got going. This is actually going to end up being 2 cutting boards because it's so long. But it will have a border around it too, like such. So you see how the grain makes the horseshoe? I like to cut them in 2 and run my inlay through it. I think it adds a really cool design, natural design. I like to contrast my colors, which I think I may want this to be the end piece though, because once this gets soaked in oil, those grains really pop out. And that's a really unique look. So the borders along this side may not go on, just so I can showcase this. That right there would be a cool end piece, so I may do something like that. And then use some curly maple like that. And I may not put any end pieces at all on it. Once I start getting everything glued up, it may not need anything. So yeah, I've got to get this place back in order. I got a lot of cleanup to do in here and stuff like that, which technically I guess I don't have to right yet, but it drives me crazy every time I walk in here and see everything in the mess that it's in. These past 2 weeks have been pretty brutal. I left here so quick the last time I was in here working on this stuff that I just left everything laying out. I got tools laying everywhere. There's sawdust all over the place. And, since we got Marco and everybody in here, I'll show y'all a little bit of what I got going on. Now, guys, keep in mind that this place is usually a lot more organized than this. There's one of the company trucks. Got job trailer, utility trailer. But here's some of the woodworking stuff that I've got just kind of thrown in here. There's the honey bucket. I guess the Alabama version of it. A little shout out to old Said Stevie. There's the office. That's also a wreck. But that's pretty much it, man. I'm about to get busy cleaning this place up for about the next hour, and then I got to get back to work, to some real world work. I just wanted to mess with this stuff a little bit to kind of escape for a minute, I guess, so to say. When I'm out here working, I don't answer the phone or emails or anything like that. So if I'm in town and I get an hour or two, that's what I do. Anyway, guys, I hope everybody has a good day. Shane, have fun. Be safe at the shop. Wear your PPE. Judge, hey, it's nice to meet you, buddy. You be safe out there in Texas, man. And appreciate what you do, my guy. So, everybody, peace out. We'll see everybody later.